Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn from Florals.com and today I'm back with another layout in my Autumn Traveler's Notebook, but this one might actually bring you some summer inspiration because we went to the beach in October. Luckily, living in Florida, the water was quite nice and it was mildly warm for October even down here. So I thought I'd take these photos of us preparing to go to the beach and put them on this spread together. So what I've really had a lot of inspiration, and if you head to my Patreon you can find out a little bit more and get a few more process videos, but I'm really inspired by the beach right now and this particular sticker sheet from Echo Park. I don't know why I ever bought it in the first place, but mermaids are as good as time as any to use near the ocean, so I thought I'd pull them in for this page. And what I also wanted to pull into this page was more of those beautiful blue tones. And while there's no water in these photos, we just have our beach gear and our swimsuits on. I really wanted to use some of these doilies. Now you can't really tell, but you will be able to in the close-ups, or if you head over to my blog you can see more pictures. This is actually a blue sparkly doily. Yes, I know, kind of crazy, but a lot of fun. And essentially I wanted to create a beautiful cluster on top of this doily. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's one of my favorite ways to use up sticker sheets is to just cluster them together. A doily is a great base for any type of cluster, especially this smaller size doily. And they even make smaller ones if you're interested in getting a smaller page done. You can do that even with the smaller doilies by like Doodlebug. They're on Amazon now. You can find all sorts of places. So I start off with that doily as a base, and I knew I wanted to use the narwhal and of course this shell that says shell yeah. That'd be the perfect title for this layout as we start heading towards the beach. So I pulled those out to use on this particular page. Now it had a little bit of awkward spacing at the bottom even once I put in the mermaid and some of the foliage that also came on this Echo Park sticker sheet. So I actually pulled in a label from Freckled Fawn to add another layer there and to bring in a little bit more of purple that's like the shell on the right hand side. So kind of trying to balance out the colors between the blues and the purples and pinks, which I don't see a lot of purple in scrapbooking, and I'm really happy to see it in this Echo Park collection because why not with mermaids? Purple seems like the perfect color. And then I start going through my stash to try to find a paper to go with this because I thought the left side was too plain to have this beautiful cluster on the right hand side. So I found this beautiful shell paper. It's got like a watercolor texture to it. And since I want to coat the background in that, I want to make sure that my photos are trimmed down a smidge more than 3x4. And I want to make sure that I can see more of the pattern paper around it because when it comes to traveler's notebooks, as they grow bigger, the middle seam gets a little bit tight. So I always cut my papers for the backgrounds a little bit looser than I need. So I want to do the same thing for my photos so I can see the pattern paper and have all the layers that I want beneath that. Luckily it's just one on this one. As you might be able to tell, my traveler's notebook is getting quite full, and again I have more of those traveler notebook process videos linked down in the description below, as well as over on Patreon if you guys are interested in. So this particular traveler's notebook from Momenta is 4¼ by 8¼ just about, not exactly those measurements, but somewhere in there. It's probably got some eighths, some 5/8, something like that. But I always start with there and then trim down to see how much of a border I want on the other sides of the traveler's notebook page. So once I have that trimmed into size, I attach it, and I'm really excited to have ATG tape. And it's funny because I've been on and off scrapbooking this week and I've run through ATG tape like no other. It's like I forgot how much tape and glue you need to make a page stick. But I really enjoyed getting that paper into this album because I think it looks so pretty and really helps read off more of that pink color that's on the right hand side of the cluster. And to add another pop and another layer to the left hand side, I wanted to include something underneath the photos, but not a perfect frame around the photos. And so what I end up doing is grabbing a scrap from that paper pad, which is the Feelin', N-A-U-T-I, nautical paper pad, Feelin' Naughty paper pad, and cut it in half so I have two layers that look like it's a full layer under my photos. And that's a great way to save a little bit of space and a little bit of paper. If you want, is just to cut your scrap in half and do two border edges instead. And then on the right hand side, because I was a little nervous that the doily would get clipped in the middle on the edge, so I trimmed it down on two sides just so it had straight edges, and it really kind of guides your eye in. It's almost like a shell shape itself. really fun that that ended up that way. And then I adhere that into place. And I only end up using tape adhesive on this doily, although I do recommend using tape adhesive and liquid adhesive because sometimes doilies are just such a weird texture, and I know they're very thin, so be very, very cautious with how much liquid adhesive you use, but just to make sure they stick and don't peel off later. But with traveler's notebooks, you got to be careful with how thin the paper is, so just take it by ear and try to make it work for you. And to finish off this page, I definitely wanted to use this little thing here, and it says, "I'm done adulting, let's go be mermaids," which was accurate for this little beach vacation that we took. We were done with school and with work, so I wanted to go and have fun instead of focusing on the boring stuff. And what's really nice about this 12 by 12 sticker sheet as well is there are a ton of small, tiny stickers. And sometimes when they have white borders like this, I think it is a little more difficult to make it not feel like a sticker sneeze pattern. But if you layer them together and use them throughout your page, so I have some on the right-hand side, some on the left-hand side, it feels a bit more cohesive. So if you're struggling with white bordered items and you don't have to trim them all out by hand, try including more. More is more in this scenario, and we definitely want to see that. And you'll even see here I end up doing a couple scatters of them, since I can't do something like enamel dots in this traveler's notebook because there'd be way too thick if I put enamel dots on every page. These kind of scatter stickers work really well as the same sort of idea. So I had some shells, some hearts, some stars, and that is it for this page. I hope you guys enjoyed this Traveler's Notebook spread. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you using doilies on your pages? I still love them. Hopefully you still love them too. But thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!